Perfect. I can see you too.
Wow, you're looking so fresh.
Thank you. What time is it for you at the moment?
7 p.m. exactly in the
Okay,
evening.
yeah. Okay, it's a little earlier here. That's
Yeah.
why I'm a little fresher.
Oh,
So, my friend, now, how do I pronounce your first name?
my name is Hitesh. Hitesh. Hitesh.
Hitesh.
Yes. Wow.
Okay,
Nice,
got it.
Hitesh. Yes.
Got it. All right. All right. Uh, you recording? Yes.
Someone, my friends from West is pronounced like Hitesh. They cut the H. So you pronounce very well in
Very
first
good.
attempt.
Hitesh.
Yes.
Okay.
So how are you,
Ho
Mr.
ho
Stephen? Okay.
hopefully I can keep that up.
Yeah.
Just call me Terrence. That's fine. That's
Oh,
fine.
parents.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, how the hell did you find me?
Like the whole world is connected now. This is an internet
True.
era,
Yeah, it's
and
pretty good,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. So
Yeah.
in my COVID time, I was a long time seeker from last 15 years. I
Hmm.
have explored different teaching,
Yeah.
and in the COVID when the whole world shut down,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah.
So on my YouTube, you appear and
The
I
rest is
go through.
history.
Rest is history. Yeah.
All right. So, what are we going to explore? What would you like to explore?
So I wanted to ask you the very first question is what exactly non-duality is and how it is different from the different paths which we call spiritual path or seeker.
Okay. So, non-duality has become a very popular word in the last 10 years, particularly the last 10 years, even earlier, but the last 10 years, it's become very, very popular. Now, people make the mistake. Most people, if you ask them what is non-duality, they'll say, oh, everything, it's one. One. Yeah. But what they mean by that without realizing it, yeah, is I am one with everything. Yeah. And there's no I that's one with everything because there is no I and there are no things. You understand? So non-duality, the true literal meaning of non-duality simply just means not dual. Not one, but not two. Sometimes you'll hear people say one without a second, one without the possibility of two. You know, the difference, now that we've clarified that, the real difference is that non-duality, true in its purest form, non-duality does the complete opposite to what we would do on normal spiritual paths. Normal spiritual paths, there's a person, yeah, who is wanting to improve or is wanting to become or is wanting to arrive or, find, yeah. And then people will wander down those particular paths, those particular tracks, yeah, trying to earn their stripes so that they can, you know. Um, whereas the true essence of non-duality goes to the core of whether there's an actual personal person here or not and deals with that. Yeah. And non-duality says there is no personal person. Seems to be, it's an appearance, seems to be, yeah. But when it's actually explored, when it's truly explored, what you start to discover, and it can be a gradual process, but what you start to discover is there is no personal, separate agent here that has free will. Seems to be, but when you actually explore it, You discover there's not a person here. So non-duality is about, and a lot of people that are on the non-dual path don't even realize it, but non-duality is about coming to understand what you're not not going in search of what you are. Going in search of what you are would just place you in all the other spiritual disciplines. Do you understand? Yeah. And that's quite ironic really, because if you were to ask most people on the non-dual path, yeah, if you were to ask them, yeah, are you on this non-dual path to discover true self? 99% of people on the non-dual path would say yes. And I would say, well, that's very, very interesting. So you're on the non-dual path to discover true self. Let's just pause for a moment. What does that say about current self?
There is no
Current self.
self.
Yeah, it can't be true. Yeah, because we're trying to find true self. And what is it? What is it that would be trying to find? This is where it gets a bit crazy, right? What is it that would be trying to find true self? False self. So we don't do that. I don't spend time with people talking about what non-duality is. What I do is I spend time with people talking to them about what duality is, because apparently duality is the problem. Apparently. Duality is the problem. That's why we're all trying to find non-dual. And if we find the non-dual, finally all my problems will be gone and it'll be Sat Chit Ananda. Do you understand? So a lot of it, the non-dual path is about coming to understand what you're not. What you are doesn't need be understood. What you are doesn't need be found. It's never lost. Doesn't need be found. Yeah. But that we actually are, if I could couch it like this, yeah, that we actually are doesn't reveal itself until not self is seen and understood. Not self is seen and understood. Yeah. So there's a little intro. I hope that helped answer
It's
part of the
very good. It's
question.
very good. But there is a still a story running behind. Like there is a Terrence who is speaking. There is a Hitesh who is listening, who is asking question. There are millions of people who are seeking the answers. Someone are visiting Rishikesh. Someone are visiting India. Someone are visiting
Yeah,
Machu Picchu, and there
wherever.
are
Yeah.
you name it, and there are market.
Hmm.
So how would you see that duality?
Well, what is it that creates the seeming duality? Without which there'd be no duality.
Mm.
What what is duality? What is it? Not what does it say? What's duality's opinion? Does duality judge or not judge? None of that. What is duality? What is it?
There is a idea of me and there is a idea of world.
That's it.
That's it. The
That's it.
first idea is me.
So that's the duality.
Yes.
Okay. What creates that?
The idea of me. Me creates the duality. Me
Me
creates
create
you.
me creates the duality. But that doesn't make sense because there isn't a me.
Me.
What's the me? What's that? What is that? What is it? That's, yeah, that's kind of what we have to look at. Is there a
Okay.
person here or not? Yeah, is there an actual personal self here or not?
Let explore the me.
Let's explore the me.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, all right.
yeah.
Okay, so what is it?
Definitely, it's not body,
That's interesting. Okay,
and definitely, it's not mind.
okay,
But there is a point where this search has been stopped, and you don't find anything. But there is a something which is seeking.
good. What is that that is seeking?
Nothing,
Nothing is seeking. Is that nothing seeking for something?
maybe,
But it's nothing.
but it wants something.
But it's nothing. How could nothing want something? What is nothing? What is nothing? Let's define that word. What is nothing? Give me a definition of nothing. This we have to do this. We have to explore, yeah? So what's the definition of nothing?
I don't think anyone can give the definition of nothing.
Really?
It's nothing.
Like, is nothing a thing?
No,
No, no thing. Nothing.
right.
Yeah. Could we fairly say, yeah, that a definition of nothing would be the absence of completely everything. Absence of absence of everything. Space, quarks, imagination, the absence of everything.
You can say
Good. Yeah. So could nothing in that case exist?
no
It's a concept, right?
concept.
Because it's the absence of everything. So let's look at that, yeah? The absence of everything is going in search of what?
Something.
But there's nothing there that could go searching. It's nothing. Let's grab the other end of the stick, okay? Yeah.
You checked and made. There is no place to go.
Ah. No, but you've stated something quite profound, yeah? I'm not the body
Mm.
and I'm not the mind. Yeah? Yeah. Now,
Because I am witnessing it. I have that clarity that I am witnessing my body, the
I
whole body.
understand. Good, but right there, my question would be, is it Hitesh that's witnessing that?
No, there
What's
is no
Hitesh?
Hitesh.
Good. What isn't it? What is Hitesh? What is that?
It's a body mind unity. You can say
Hitesh is a body mind
unity.
unity.
Yeah,
Good. Created by what?
created by some thoughts, ideas.
Good. Good. Now, if we remove the thoughts and the ideas, yeah, is there now a Hitesh that's the body mind?
There is nothing.
Yeah. So let's have a closer look, yeah? In the absence of thought, is there Hitesh?
No,
Good. What is Hitesh?
a thought,
Good. A pattern of thoughts.
but a constant thought.
Doesn't matter. It's still a pattern of thoughts.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a
Good.
data.
Good. 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 Yeah. Is that an entity? Is that pattern of thoughts conscious, aware, alive, being? Can it see, hear, taste, touch, smell? A pattern of thoughts.
the pattern of thoughts.
Is it conscious? Is it aware?
No, it's a dead pattern of thoughts which is coming randomly.
Right, right. Now, without a pattern of thoughts, would there be seeking happening?
No, definitely not.
Be no seeking happening without thoughts, yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Saying that to stay with that nothingness is also a thought. That
Yeah.
desire to stay with that nothingness. I'm
Who's
sure,
gonna who's gonna stay with the nothingness?
yes. And I'm sure that the character Terrence is also won't be able to do that.
The character can't do anything. Zero. Complete zero. The character.
But here I have a little bit confusion. The character is picking the water bottle and drinking the water.
No. No,
And
no, no,
if
no,
we
no, no.
wish,
No. No. That's the mistake right there. You think the character's doing this?
yes, because if we wish, if the character wish, he will not pick the bottle.
Then let me ask you this. Yeah? If I used if if I had the capacity to create amnesia in you and we wiped out your backstory and we wiped out the character, you didn't know who you were, didn't know who your parents were, what you've ever done for a living, didn't know your name, didn't know your age, didn't know anything, right? In relation to a personal character, yeah? Would it now be the personal character sitting here doing this? Would it? Would it?
So there is nothingness. There is no free will. Nothingness is doing interview of nothingness.
Well,
Nothingness is taking interview. Nothingness is giving interview. Nothingness is talking. Nothingness is listening.
what
Nothingness
what is
is
what what
seeking.
what is nothingness?
Nothingness.
Is any of this making sense? As you're speaking it, is it making any sense?
No.
Right. Then it might not be right. It might not be, it just might not be right. Yeah. Look, let's go back to, I want to go back to, remember I said to you, yeah, if we don't come to an understanding of
Mm.
what we're not is going to stay in pursuit of what we are forever, forever, what we're not. Yeah. All right. So if we go back to the amnesia pointer, Hitesh, yeah?
Mm. Mm.
If we go back to that, all right?
Mm.
And let's just say I snapped my fingers and I can't, but I was able to induce that in you now. Yeah? Don't know where you were born, don't know your name, don't know how old you are, don't know if you've got parents alive or dead or whatever, don't know if you've got siblings, don't know what you've ever done for a living, don't know, don't know, don't know, don't know. Just don't know. Yeah? Good. Now, would it be Hitesh sitting here, conscious and aware?
There is no Hitesh who is conscious and aware. There is a awareness, sense of awareness,
Right, right. So,
sense of beingness.
is that Hitesh?
No,
Good. What's that? this beingness that you're experiencing right here, right now, yeah, is it the same beingness that you experienced when you were 8 years of age? Check. Is it the same beingness that you experienced when you were 8 years of age?
Yes,
Or,
definitely.
or yeah,
It's same.
12 years of age, 20 years of age?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's same.
Yeah. So has it changed?
No,
Yeah. That beingness, yeah. Does it discriminate?
no, never.
Doesn't judge?
No.
Okay. So you tell me, yeah, where are you stuck?
There's no stuckness if
Is there
there is
still
a
seeking
peace.
occurring? Is there still seeking occurring? Is there still something wanted? Is there still an understanding hoping to be achieved, hoping to be experienced?
There is a character. If you ask the character Hitesh, his answer is yes. If you ask the awareness or beingness,
Yeah,
he don't need anything. He or she don't need anything on very first place.
cool, cool. So we determined earlier that the character was just a pattern of thoughts, right?
Yes, it's
Good.
perfect.
Who cares about the pattern of thoughts?
No one.
Who cares about the character?
No one.
And the character is only a pattern of thoughts, right?
Mm.
Yeah? Good. Now what? Good. Now what?
Nothing.
Hmm.
Nothing.
Next question.
Do you still want me to ask the question after this nothingness?
I know, right? I know, but it's like, yeah, okay, next. Now what? Yeah, yeah. See, no. What,
Can
what?
yes, yes,
Go on.
please go ahead.
Yes,
Please go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah. If you've truly tracked and if you've truly understood the discussion that just happened, yeah, then the only thing, even speaking this sounds ridiculous, but I'll
Yes.
speak it, yeah. The only thing left to do is simply to sit with just this. And I'm not defining what this is or where this is or whether it has a shape, a color, or a location. I'm not. Yeah. Now, do we now have the capacity to just sit here with just this and want for nothing and expect nothing? Because that's all there is left. Once you've understood what it is that creates the seeming character and what it is that creates the seeming world out there and all the apparent things out there, once you know the instrument that gets used to create that, the seeming here and the seeming there, the seeming that, and all the things and so on and so on. Once you know the instrument that gets used to create the seeming duality, once you know, yeah, then put it down. Because there's either the dualistic thinking process happening or there's just this. And then the question becomes, where do you want to live? Where am I actually? That beingness, if we want to call it that, yeah? Where am I? And as my teacher said so many times, the answer's not in the mind. So if the answer's not in the mind, where else could it be? Hello. Where else could it be?
There is no question it but on the first place.
There's no, sorry, there's no,
There is no question.
yeah,
There is no question.
yeah. That's when you know, yeah, this has been put down. Mind has been put down. And it's not the putting down of mind or the putting down of thoughts, if you like, is something that just simply happens. You can't do it. The character can't do it. Can't. Once enough truth is seen, that just, it's a natural process to put it down. Then what are you left with?
Just this
Yeah,
beingness.
good. Then my question then becomes, what's this? It's a rhetorical question, Hitesh. Requires no answer.
Nobody can answer it.
Correct.
Every answer is a false
Correct.
or a sugar coating or try to
Correct.
make a concept out of it, trying
Correct.
to give a poetic language.
Mm. I don't talk about just this. The closest you'll get me to, the closest you'll get hearing me talk about it is just referring to it as just this. But most of the speaking I do, yeah, is about unraveling the duality. Because if that gets unraveled, really, truly unraveled, and seen to be what it actually is, yeah, it ends up being laughable and becomes very, very easy to put down. Duh. And then there's
Six.
just this, yeah,
The apparent thought come into my being, which I love to share with you,
yeah,
that
yeah.
you look very handsome in a blue shirt because most of your videos in blue. So
Oh, in
I thought
blue.
today also you are going to wear a blue.
Hang on, I'll just get changed. No.
So the very
Uh,
first impression of yours in my mind, or
yeah,
the projection of your character in my mind, if
yeah.
I be more precise.
Mm.
So the blue shirt guy.
The blue shirt guy. Yeah, yeah.
So so see,
You,
actually
yeah.
I can't ask a appropriate question to you. So you tell me whatever you can share or
Well, let's look at the seeming culprit. Yeah.
okay.
Okay. The seeming culprit is mind,
Mm.
simply thoughts. Okay. Now, a thought will say there's a tree over there and there's a tree over there. Yeah. And clearly they're separate. A thought will say that. Yeah. Okay. If you understand that thoughts are symbols, are words. A thought is made up of a word. Yes, there could be visions, yeah. Without the word, you wouldn't be able to identify what the vision was, even if you're having an internal vision, right? If you understand that thoughts are symbols, they're just symbols, yeah, constructed of words. And the words will depend on what country you were born into as to what language you learn. Yeah? Okay. So there's normally the understanding that, me, Terrence, was born from the mother's womb. Born. Yeah? If you truly look at it, the Terrence character didn't start until around the age of 2 years of age when language started to be learnt. And in the process of learning language, what also then began to formulate was internal thoughts with the language that's now being learnt. Yeah? And somewhere around that age, 2, 3, yeah, thoughts starts to say, I usually refer to it as hijacking, but thoughts starts to say, yeah, this, not in these words, but there's an understanding, right? This presence, this beingness, this meanness, yeah, this presence, this is Terence, says thoughts, yeah. And everybody around, parents, grandparents, other siblings or friends or whatever, are confirming that. Yeah, I'll point to you, the body, and go, "You are Terence. Hi, Terence," and they're referring to you. So it just gets absorbed. Yeah. But if you really look at it, if you actually take the time to stop and pause and look at it, what you discover is that the Terence character wasn't born at all. It didn't start until around the age of 2. Yeah, you can verify that. Why is it we can't remember any earlier than that? There's no language, which means there's no memory, there's no thought process in words, because we have to learn words when we learn language. Yeah? There's no thought process prior to the age of 2 that can be recalled in language. We haven't learnt language yet. Do you understand? So this me character, starts to come online, starts to around the age of 2. Now, I'd hardly call that being born. Yeah. And yet, the baby that's 6 months old, no thought processes going on yet, no language going on yet. The only noises the baby knows is ah, 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 gook, gook, gak, gak. There's nothing. There's no sense yet. Yeah? And yet that baby will be lying on its back, kicking its arms and legs in the air, giggling and laughing and having a wow of a time without thought process, without language thought process. So no dualistic thoughts happening yet. The beginning of the dualistic process is when we start to learn language. That's when the duality starts. Yeah? Well, me and you, me and other. The child will hold its rattle and go, "This is mine. It's mine." Yeah? The duality starts. Yeah? Then you could go, okay, yeah? Understanding that thoughts are symbols. Yeah. Then just to clarify that, or just to really bring that home, yeah, let's see if we can find one word, just one, yeah, that stands alone and completely 100% independent of all other words and means something. What's the word going to be? Can you find one? A word that stands alone by itself, completely independent, not dependent on any other words, and means something. What do you find? What do you find? What you find is nothing. What you find is nothing. Yeah? There is not one word that stands alone by itself, independent of all other words, and means something. Yeah? Okay. And when we use the word me, that's one word, isn't it? Yeah.
I.
Me. Yeah. Or I. Me or I. Yeah. Then the next question would be, well, what does I mean? Now you've got to employ other words to define what the word I means or what the word me means. But we frequently go me as if it stands alone, you know what I mean, by itself and, is independent and, yeah. But if you look at it, yeah, what does me mean? Well, me, this, here, me, here, this body. Now, here come all the words, right? There are other words that are attached to the word me. Me, me, you can see me, just more words, yeah? But the word me by itself, without any other words, is just a sound and has zero meaning. It's just a sound. Me, me. It's just a sound. It doesn't mean anything if you isolate and just have it stand alone. Yeah. So what I'm just trying to point out there, yeah, is that these thought processes that we have start around the age of 2 when we start to learn language and we start to learn more and more and more words as we get older. The me becomes more and more complex as more words are learnt. Yeah. The memory starts to develop as more words are learnt. Yeah. And then before you know it, you've got a mind that's there saying, hi, my name's Terrence and I'm here and I'm in this body and this is me. And then if you look at that, this me that we're claiming ownership of and that we're apparently taking full responsibility for, yeah, this me, if you look really closely enough and honestly enough, that me that we refer to was put there 100% put there. If you or I, Hitesh, happen to have been born in China, I wasn't born in Australia, you weren't born in it, but we both happen to be born in China. Yeah. Do you think we'd have the same me's sitting here now? Chinese, different culture, different, right? A different language. Do you think it'd be the same me? Be completely different. Like completely
Right.
different.
Right.
Yeah. So it's word, language. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah. You and I would have to both agree we'd be insane not to agree with at least this, yeah? That to have any, and I don't care what kind, any experience, you and I would have to agree that we both have to be conscious. True?
Right.
Right. Yeah. Now, are you conscious of thoughts?
Yes, I have.
Good. Flip that. Are the thoughts conscious of this that's conscious of the thoughts?
Can you please repeat the question?
I can, yeah. So, first question was, are you conscious of thoughts? And you went,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes. Good. So you know what it's like to be conscious of thoughts, yeah? Yeah. You could also say you're conscious of me sitting here doing this. You're conscious of this. Yeah, conscious, right? Okay, so now what I'm asking you to do is I'm asking you to flip that. Flip, F-L-I-P, flip that. Are the thoughts conscious of this that's conscious of the thoughts?
No.
Good. A moment ago, you and I agreed that to have any experience, we'd have to be conscious, right?
Mm.
Yeah?
Mm.
We agreed? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, now you've identified that thoughts are not conscious, right?
100%.
Good. So what's the backstory all based on then? Just pause there for a moment. What is, because there's a whole backstory there for you. I was born such and such a year, I had such and such a parents, and I experienced this and I experienced that, and I did this and I did that, and blah, blah, blah. There's a huge backstory there.
Mm.
All apparently that backstory, yeah, implying I had an experience. If thoughts are not conscious, what the hell is the backstory based upon? Can you see that here? Can you see that?
Yes, I can see clearly.
Okay. That's cool. It's funny, yeah?
It's very funny. It's a hopeless message for me, actually. This is a hopeless, and this is a very brutal, and this is a killer for the seeker.
Yeah.
It's a killer message.
It has to be revealed. This idea of a personal self, a character, it has to be revealed. You have to. Because if it's not, the character, the apparent character, is apparently, right, is apparently going to stay there as a seeker, still wandering down the non-dual path, one day hoping I'm going to get this.
But
There's
do you
no
think the
character there.
me, the false me can create the ego, can create the non-dual teaching into the ego?
Oh,
I know
say that once more. Say that
the
once more.
the personal me has been take over or hijack this non-dual teaching and convert it into the mind, a beautiful non-dual mind,
Well,
and
let me ask.
claiming that.
Well, you've just given life to the character again.
Yes, that's what my question is.
Good. So spot that. What was it that just gave life to the character just then? What happened? A thought
Hmm.
said blah, 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 blah. That's all. That's all. Yeah. But
So
now, but
it's
let's, but, but let's look at it. Yeah. I kind of get the gist of where you're going, right?
Hmm.
You do understand. Yeah. I'm making an assumption, but I think it's a very good one. You do understand that the character doesn't think. Yeah.
Right,
You really got that?
100%.
Perfect. Okay. Now, that being the case, doesn't it beg the question, who or what's the thinker? Because there's an intelligence behind these thoughts. Although sometimes we beg to differ, right? It depends what's going on in there, but you know what I mean? There's still
Yes,
an intelligence behind
yes.
these thoughts, yeah? And if the
Yes.
character's not the thinker, who or what's the thinker? What's creating the thoughts? It's
It's an
not a
interesting
thought,
question.
it's not a thought creating a thought.
Then what creating a thought, a memory, a character?
But this is what I'm at. No, the character's not an entity. It has no free will. It's not, it can't do anything. The
Right,
character is the thoughts.
right.
The character is the thoughts. Yeah. So now okay, let's look at it like this, yeah? Can the character see, hear, taste, touch, or smell? Good. Is the character conscious and aware?
No.
Good. Now, is there seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, and smelling happening?
Happening. 100% happening.
Perfect. Yeah. Is there consciousness and awareness happening?
Consciousness and awareness is
They're two words meaning the exact same thing,
yeah,
really.
yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But we can't say it's happening, it's there. It's there.
That's good enough. Yeah, it's semantics. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
there.
We can't deny it.
Right? Can't
Right.
deny.
Good. Now, is it is it the character that's the thinker?
No,
Good. Is it the character that's experiencing the seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling,
no,
consciousness, awareness, beingness?
no.
Good. Yet there's thinking happening, and there's consciousness or awareness or beingness, and seeing, hearing, tasting, touching happening.
Right.
Who or what's that? What's experiencing the experiencing? What's creating the thinking, the thoughts? See, if you know there's no me, there's no character, there's no individual, right? What's left? That being the case, so when you know there's no individual here, you also know there's no individual over there.
Okay.
Like yeah? So that being the case, what's left?
The silence, the nothing, the
Yeah,
being.
just we could say just this. We could also say, are you ready? We could also say non-dual. We could also say one without a second. Yeah, one. Then the question becomes, holy shit, what's this?
I don't think question is there. What's
Yeah,
this? Because it's
yeah,
this.
sure. I know.
It's this. There's no
Yeah,
question, no
yeah.
answer.
Good. So
It's
here's a question I have for you. Yeah. Who's the thinker?
thinking happening. There's no one who's thinking.
Good. Can we agree that there's an intelligence behind that, the thinking?
Yeah, there is a memory because I
Yeah,
can't.
an intelligence.
It's
Nothing to do with the memory. Nothing to do with the memory. Let's say thoughts are happening right now, yeah? They're just churning through right now. Okay? Haven't
hmm.
been backed up in memory yet, so we're just talking about in the immediacy of now, yeah? Thoughts are happening, yeah? Who or what's creating that?
They are happening actually. They are random. They are very random.
Yeah, but they're not random enough that you're saying, I don't know, blue, orange, green, fat, random, geographic. There's still a pattern. There's an intelligent pattern to the thoughts.
And what is that pattern?
We wouldn't be able to communicate if there wasn't. Agreed? Agreed? We
Yes.
wouldn't. We just wouldn't. So there is an intelligence behind the speaking or behind the thoughts. Same thing.
No.
Now,
They
who's the thinker and who's the speaker?
same the
Yeah,
beingness. The beingness has created this laptop, computer, devices, applications, and
good,
it's experiencing the interview. It's giving the
good,
answer, asking the question. It's
perfect.
its beingness is thirsty and taking the water bottle and drinking the water and experiencing the thirst and experiencing the fulfillment of the thrust.
Perfect. So would it then be fair to say, yep, if there is only one, yeah,
Beingness.
what does whatever, right? If there is only one, then one must be responsible for all.
Yes, 100% sure.
Good. So who or what's the thinker? One.
So
Who or
if
who or what's experiencing? One.
so if
Who
there
or
is a
who or what's conscious? One.
if there is a
It's
person
not
sitting in
it's
the
not a
Europe and thinking about the pizza, and if the person sitting in the Bangladesh and thinking about the sandwich, and if the
yeah,
person sitting in the Pakistan and thinking about the biryani, or if the
yeah,
person sitting in the India and thinking about the any
whatever.
sweet dish, so
Yep.
everything is the one.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So we could say, if that's understood, yeah, then what we say is the one creates Hitesh and has an experience of Hitesh, and at the exact same time, it also creates a Terrence and has an experience of a Terrence. Now multiply that by 8 billion human beings.
Yes.
Because none of the human beings are the thinker.
Yes.
There's no entity in all of those human beings, yeah,
And what
that
about the
can claim
trees, and what
ownership.
about the animals? Why we cut them? And
Why
what
we
about
what
the universe? And what about the galaxies?
okay. What about it?
The all
What
are the expression of that one, you can say.
what else could it possibly? But if it was anything other than one, there'd be two,
Yes,
three, four,
100%.
five, six. Good.
100%.
So good. Now, but what needs to be understood there, anything other than one is mind.
Mm.
That's the instrument that gets used to create duality. Because in the complete absence of it, boom, crash, the complete absence of it, non-dual. No discrimination, no judging, no thoughts, no thought I'm here, you're there. Yeah, there is, it's non-dual.
I
Now there's no
just
location, there's no separation. We can't say there's a tree over there and a tree over there because it would be this that's saying there's a tree over there and a tree. Yeah, it's just all one. It's the mind that divides. And then we've got the senses, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, and as remarkable as they are, they're still limited, as is the dualistic thinking. It's brilliant, brilliant, but still limited. That's why, getting close, when you get really close towards, I have to put it this way, I don't know how else to put it, but when you get really close to the end of this journey, yeah, really close, it dawns on you, mind must be put down because you can't take something dualistic with you and be non-dual. Let's for argument's sake say you could, just for argument's sake, yeah. So you've got duality, which I'm going to
mm,
represent by these two fingers, right? Duality, and it's been searching for non-dual for 20 years, yeah. And one day, finally, and this is the character, right? The character duality, right? Finally, the character finally discovers non-dual one. It finally discovers it, and it's happy, and it's yeah, I finally found it. How many's there?
two.
Yeah, it still
There's a
can't.
one, and
Yeah,
there's a one
yeah,
seeker, and there's a one thing which he got after seeking.
yeah, which can't happen
Correct.
because this non-dual can't be known until there's the absence of the
One.
dual.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Beautifully said. Oh.
yeah. Now it's direct. That's direct. That's why I sometimes say, yeah, you kind of arrive here, yeah, and it's a rhetorical question. I'm not necessarily saying you have to ask it, but you kind of arrive here and it's like, oh, what's this? Huh. Like, it's direct, direct.
You are killing all the fancy idea of enlightenment.
There's no such thing. Yeah, there's no such thing. That's the hugest carrot, enlightenment, especially when, you know, students start to feel, oh, I'm starting to get this.
Yes.
Oh, I'm starting to understand this. Yeah, not understanding anything at that point, but there's an idea. I'm starting to understand this, right? That's the trap. What happens is before we stumble into non-duality, right? We don't know this, right? But before we stumble into non-duality, there's been a big spiritual seeker story going on.
Yeah. It's
You
very,
could have been
very
in,
difficult.
yeah, you could have been involved in a whole lot of things, yeah. And then
Mm.
what happens is you start to get involved in non-duality, right? And you start to discover, oh, there was a big story about me being a spiritual seeker and so on and so forth. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But while that is happening, we don't realize it. Now there's a new story being developed. I'm now on the non-dual path. I'm now a seeker on the non-dual path. And I'm learning this and I'm learning how to say this. And
Uh,
if I get asked that question, I know that the answer is blah. If I get asked this question, I know the answer is blah. And we don't realize it, but there's a brand new story that starts to get created. Not that the old story goes away, but now we've got a new story. Oh, the new story is, oh, there's no me. Wow, that's fascinating. And that now becomes the new story. Do you understand? And then that's got to be, then at some point, that story's got to be let go of. Fucking hell, you've got two now. The old story, the old spiritual story, and this new non-dual. I'm a non-dualer.
Same addiction with the different brand. You're
Correct.
still smoking a weed, but maybe it's a different brand.
Yeah. Yeah. And that can
Very well
be,
said.
that can seem to be disheartening, for
Mm,
people that have been stuck on the non-dual path for a long time,
right,
because they
right,
start to become a bit disillusioned by it all,
right.
and they know the answers to everything because they've heard it so many times. So they know the answers, right? But the reality is, even though they know the answers, they still feel like I'm a person here.
Mm.
I'm a character and I'm here, and now I don't know what to do. I don't know what direction to seek in or search, or I don't know what to, I know, but the mind or the seeker goes, I know there's no me here, so the me can't do anything. So now I'm left with, oh, I don't know what to do. Yeah? And what most people do, they don't realize it, right? What most people do at that point, they go, okay, I surrender. I know there's nothing I can do, so all I could do is just wait and hope some miracle happens, and it happens. Now, who'd be waiting? The character again.
Character villain.
Again, you understand? Yeah.
Mm.
So, you can get so far, but then at some point, someone's got to guide you or direct you to the direct experience. Just this. Have to, because at some point, it's got to dawn. And for a lot of people, it does, but then they don't know what to do. The answer's not in the mind.
Mm.
It's got to dawn. It's not there. Yeah. Then it's okay. Can that now be let go of? And now can you sit with nothing and want for nothing and expect nothing? Now can you do that? It's a big shift from being a seeker. Big shift from being a seeker. Yeah. Because the seeker's always trying to acquire, get more knowledge, get more understanding,
Yeah. It's
grabbing,
a trap.
grabbing, grabbing.
Yeah,
It's a huge trap. Yeah. So yeah.
yeah.
So,
There
you
is a
know,
wholeness and completeness right here, right now. There's nothing to seek.
yeah.
If you can seek, it's okay. If you can't seek, it's okay. If you are having your pizza, it's
It's all
okay.
it's all okay.
It's everything okay.
It's all okay. Yeah. Yeah,
because it has not started on very first place. You have not lose something which you want to
correct.
seek.
Yeah, correct. We haven't lost anything. Nothing needs
Yes,
to be found.
yes,
Yeah. There's just an illusion that's been happening.
yes, yes,
Just
yes,
that's why it's often referred to as the dream. It's just a
yes.
dream state.
People are seeking in the illusion, people are getting experience in the illusion, people are getting enlightened in the illusion, people are meeting the gurus in the illusion. Everything is created illusion, and after they create one illusion, create 10 more illusion. That 10 more illusion create 100 more illusion.
Yeah. And we have to be able to discern the difference between, and I have to use words, forgive me. Yeah. But we have to be able to discern the difference between consciousness and mind.
Mm.
If we can't discern the like they're they're 100 billion light years apart, mind, right? Compared to just this, like I could use a rough analogy. It's like the sleeping dream, that experience, the sleeping dream, yeah, compared to waking in the morning. Bah,
Mm.
where do you want to live? You'd go up, I want to be awake. Yeah. But that's really rough. Yeah. But if we can't start discerning the difference between the consciousness, or if you want to call it awareness, if you want to call it beingness, I'm okay with that. Yeah. If we can't start to discern the difference between just this and being caught in the mind, we'll always be caught in the mind. There's got to be, it's like there has to be it's almost like there has to be a separation from it. I'll sometimes say, if you can, and I suppose it's a bit of an exercise, but it's not an exercise, and you have to use imagination. But if you can start to see, even experience, but start to see that every single solitary thought that ever arises, including the thoughts, I wonder where Terrence is about to go right now, including that thought, right? Any thought, any thought, especially the thoughts about the thoughts that are just happening. Do you understand? So any thought, if we can literally start to see or experience that all of those thoughts, yeah, are happening in a bubble, just in a bubble, right? We usually refer to thoughts happening in the mind. But if you go looking for a mind, you'll never find one, right? There's not one to be found. It's a concept, the idea of them. Yet we all say in my mind. You go, really? If you had a look, is there actually one there? And you look and you discover there's not there. But for the sake of this exercise, yeah, I'm saying if you can imagine or start with imagining and then start to come to see that every single solitary thought that ever arises, and I don't care what the thought is, all thoughts are occurring in a bubble. Yeah. And all those thoughts only feed off one another. This thought says this, and it gets backed up by another thought, and that thought gets backed up by another thought, and another thought steps in and gets backed up by that thought, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So if you can start to see that all thoughts are contained in a bubble, and you are the pure witnessing, observing of that bubble or of those thoughts that are just happening. And this that is observing those thoughts that are just happening is dead quiet, doesn't say anything. There is simply an awareness of, that's all. And the thoughts that are happening in that bubble have got zero to do with that that is aware of the thoughts in the bubble. Zero, nothing, absolutely nothing to do with that is aware of the thoughts, if you like. The thoughts in the bubble are about the thoughts in the bubble. So the story of Terrence, yeah, or the story of Hitesh, yeah, that story is only about the story. Isn't it? Yeah,
Story in the bubble,
yeah,
nothing to do
yeah,
with
yeah.
the awareness or beingness.
Nothing, zero. But we think until we come to see, right, that the thoughts are about me. Why? Because from the age of 2, thoughts started hijacking this presence, this conscious awareness, and started calling it me. No wonder the me feels real. This is real. It's conscious. This being, this is real. Yeah. And mind has been calling this Terrence or Hitesh our whole life. Yeah. And we kind of wonder why, right, we get on the non-dual path and we're having difficulty relinquishing the me. It's
And it's a
because
direct
that
experience in just a moment. You don't need to 30 years of journey or seeking or
just now, yeah. But a lot of that journeying and seeking is all about coming to see what you're not,
yeah.
coming to understand what you're not. I'd hardly call that self-enquiry. I would call that not self-enquiry.
Yeah, it's a right word.
Yeah.
Rightly said.
Yeah. And then what I mean by when you just kind of arrive here, yeah, what's this? Now we're inquiring, but we're inquiring without mind. Now it's
Mm,
direct experience. Done.
yes.
Just direct. Now we're inquiring. Yeah. Now we're on it. Are it? Are it?
A male who are male can't inquire that he is male.
Oh, sorry, say that
A
again. Sorry.
male who are male can't inquire or can't search for his malehood, or a
Correct.
female who is female
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
always need the
Yeah.
remember or the reminder
Yeah,
of
yeah.
that I am female, I am female.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
it's
there's probably one other thing that I'd like to share, and that would be the senses. Yeah. Seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, and smelling. Yeah. And what's the sixth sense? The thinking, just for
mm,
the sake of the argument, right?
mm,
Yeah. So there's sixth sense, which is the dualistic sense, which is the one that's going all day long, right?
mm,
There's that,
mm,
the sixth sense, yeah.
mm,
And then there's seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, and smelling.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
So let's eliminate the sixth one. So there's five: seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, and smelling. Yeah.
mm.
Those five senses, in the absence of the sixth sense, all of them, and you can go there directly yourself to check, yeah, all of them are a non-dual experience.
It is.
What does the seeing say about anything? Not a thing. Does the seeing think? No. It's direct, just seeing. It's direct, pure, direct. There's no duality in seeing. It's not until the mind steps in and says, I see. But the seeing, or the hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, they're all a non-dual, direct experience. So right, we've got five senses that are a non-dual experience and one that is a dualistic experience, yeah? And we decide I'm going to stay with the dualistic one. And we're on the non-dual path. And we're on the non-dual path. How about we just drop the sixth one, yeah? And let's start exploring the five from our own direct experience. The five. What does the hearing say about anything? Nada, nothing, zero. Yeah? Does the seeing discriminate? Does the seeing judge? Is it the seeing that says, oh, yes, that tree is separate from that tree? Does the seeing even say, that's a tree or that's a tree? No, zero. No language, no thoughts, no language, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching. So there's five, five, five. Use them, use them. Bah. Now it's direct. Seeing is direct. Hearing is direct. Taste, touch, smell, direct. Consciousness, direct. Being, direct. The mind lives in a state of becoming. Ah,
Mm.
becoming. Yeah. But we're already being. What are we going to become?
Mind create next moment always.
Yeah. Yeah. The
In the
illusion of
future,
time.
maybe I will be enlightened if I follow this teaching.
Yeah.
Maybe I will do 3 hours meditation. I'll become enlightened.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll earn that much money or save from today. After 10 years, I'll be able to have this or that. So there's a whole bunch of thoughts who creates mind, who creates
Mm,
me.
mm.
Very beautifully said.
Yeah. So if we can see, if it makes sense, yeah,
Mm.
that the way forward on this path is to come to know what you're not.
Correct.
Has to be, has to be. If we don't see that, what we're not is going to keep searching for what it apparently is. What we're not is going to keep searching for true self, not realizing that if what we're not is seeking truth, what's this that's seeking? Can't be true self. And if it's not true self, what the hell's seeking?
So gurus
What's
are very
what's
good businessmen. You must admit it.
oh, I don't know. It's just
They are selling that which is not or which is always yours.
yeah, I don't know if this yeah, I don't know. It's I could see how it could be looked at like that, yeah. But it's just pointing, constantly pointing to the truth. What's actually happening? Actually. Not interested in what someone thinks is happening, because everyone's going to have a different idea of a thought about what's happening. What's actually happening? Holy shit, thoughts just happen. Interesting. But that's a huge shift right there in and of itself. I am not the thinker. Even if it is the me character saying, I am not the thinker, it's still a huge shift. There's a shift, the profound shift that happens there just with that. Thoughts just happen. Whoa. But then usually there's still a me character there, and now the me character believes it's having personal thoughts about the thoughts that are just happening, and not,
He want to sort out his trauma, his anxiety, his
yeah,
depression.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
He
all
want to
thoughts.
heal himself.
It's all thoughts.
ADHD, PTSD.
Yeah, the one's pretty clever. It's pretty clever.
It is.
And if it didn't do that, what could it know? The one. If you can imagine, if it's just one, which means it doesn't consist of parts, yeah, it's just one. You couldn't add anything to it or take anything away from it, because where would you be taking it from to add to it? everything is one. Yeah. And if you're going to take something away from it, where would you put it? If everything is it's one. Yeah. So in that pure, complete oneness, if you like, yeah, what can it know as one? So what does it do? It creates an illusion of two. So as it then it can have a seeming experience. It's the one having the experience of everything. Everything. You could call the one consciousness, if you like, having the experience of everything. That's okay. Okay. Oh, just words. Ultimately, you'll end up getting to a point where you start dropping words like consciousness or awareness, and those big words that we hang on to when we're on the path, like they mean something. Today I'm going to do everything I can just to be with the beingness. I'm going to really try today. I kind of gig, I kind of giggle with that and go, "Oh, okay, that sounds good. How about you try not being with the beingness? Give that
Right.
a try. See how you go. You know what I mean? Like flip it. Yeah. Yeah. Be still and know that I am right there. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Terence, for your
Uh,
time. It's
Pleasure,
already
Hitesh.
1 hour, 5 minutes, I think so.
No
So
problem. No
thank you
problem.
so much for your precious time. And I
It's my
have
pleasure.
enjoyed a lot, enjoyed a lot. It's
Me
like a
too.
timelessness. So
Yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah.
in future we will do more one-on-one with you.
Sure.
I, I
I'm here.
just I just love to talk. I just
Yeah,
love.
yeah.
I
It's
just
great.
love that time.
Yeah, yeah.
And hope to see you next time in the blue shirt.
I'll I'll try and remember. Remind me and
Yeah,
I'll put on the blue shirt.
I will send you the mail before our meeting that please wear the blue
Okay.
shirt.
Okay.
Thank you so much, friends. Thank you. Love you.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Bye
Bye.
bye. Take care.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.